Mabuhay! Welcome to Music Education class. Together, let us discover and explore the beauty and significance of the music of Frederic Chopin. Are you all excited? Now, let's get it started. In this video presentation, you will be engaged in various activities that will help you develop your understanding of the basic concepts and principles of the Western classical music. But before we proceed, let us check your prior knowledge in regard to this topic. For this activity, I want you to read each question carefully. Choose the letter of the correct answer, and you only have 10 seconds for every item. Your time starts now. The correct answer is letter A. The correct answer is letter A. The correct answer is letter D. The correct answer is letter C. The correct answer is letter A. Congratulations! You did a great job! Before we go further, let us recall your past lesson in music. For this activity, I want you to identify at least 5 compositions of Niccolò Paganini that can be found from the list below. Choose the correct answer and write it on your activity sheet. Answers can be in any order. You have 60 seconds for this activity. The correct answers are La Campanella, 24 Caprices for Solo Violin Opus 1, The Carnival of Venice, 15 Quartets for Guitars and Strings Trio, and Concerto No. 1 in Ebb Opus 6. Great work! Your memory surely did not fail you. Now, we can start our lesson. But the question is, are you ready? Now, let's talk about the music of Frederic Chopin under the Romantic period. One of the important features in the development of music during the Romantic era is the piano innovations. Classical era made significance in piano through the compositions of sonatas made by Ludwig van Beethoven and other classical composers. But it was reinvented and developed by some Romantic composers like Frederic Chopin and Franz Liszt that was shown in some of their composition. Some of this piano composition was adapted to song like Etude Opus 10, No. 3 and E major of Chopin, To No Other Love. These two great composers for piano signify how a piano music can be more enjoyable at the same time challenging to the people who want to learn their style. But who is Frederic Chopin? Frederic Chopin was known as the poet of the piano. He was born on March 1, 1810 in Zelazowa, Poland. He was considered as world-renowned pianist and composer. He was known for his originality in regards to piano. Chopin composed almost primarily for the piano, and some of his most well-known compositions are Fantasy in F minor, Opus 49, Revolutionary Etude, Opus 10, number 12, and 24 Preludes, Opus 28. Frederic Chopin began to play piano at age 4. He composed Polonaise at the age of 7. He studied piano at Warsaw Conservatory under Wilhelm Werfel, and most of his music was influenced by Polish folk music. He finished his formal education at the higher school in 1829 and soon traveled to Europe, giving concerts in places such as Vienna, Munich, Paris, and London. He wrote almost exclusively for piano. He made extensive use of piano pedal in most of his composition. He also composed mostly for chamber music and avoided playing or performing inside the hall. In 1831, Chopin arrived in Paris to further his career, and he met under legendary composers such as Franz Liszt, Felix Mendelssohn, and Robert Schumann. During this time in Paris, Chopin met and married the famous French writer Georges Sand, and later became a source of inspiration as well as a maternal figure in Chopin's life. In the latter part of Chopin's life, his health began to decline and was diagnosed with pulmonary tuberculosis. Chopin died on October 17, 1849 in Paris. Chopin's music is recognized worldwide for its beauty and complexity, and his works on the piano are staples in the piano repertoire. And here are the piano works of Frederic Chopin. Ballad, a verse form usually consisting of 3 stanzas of 8 or 10 lines, each along with a brief envoy, with all 3 stanzas and the envoy ending in the same 1-line refrain. Etude, a piece composed for the development of a specific point of technique. Mazurka, a Polish dance resembling the polka, frequently adopted as a ballet form, usually in a triple time signature. Nocturne, an instrumental composition of a pensive, dreamy mood, especially one for the piano. Polonaise, a stately march-like Polish dance, primarily a promenade by couples. Prelude, an introductory performance, event, or action preceding a more important one. Waltz, a piece of music for this dance. Impromptu, a short composition specially for the piano, performed in an offhand or extemporized style. Scherzo, a musical movement of playful character, typically in ABA form. Sonata, a composition for one or more solo instruments, one of which is usually a keyboard instrument, usually consisting of 3 or 4 independent movements varying in key, mood, and tempo. For your listening activity, I want you to listen to the compositions of Frederic Chopin and fill out the backs based on the guide questions below. Write your answers in your activity sheet. And to sum up our topic today, let's have this activity. For this time, I want you to read the paragraph carefully and fill in the blank to complete the statement about Frederic Chopin. Please write your answers legibly. The answers are, and to show your appreciation about the topic, I want you to complete the unfinished paragraph below and place your answer in your journal log. And now, to check your understanding or knowledge about the music of Frederic Chopin, let's have an assessment. For this time, I want you to read each statement below and write the letter of the correct answer. Please write legibly. Congratulations! You did a great job! I hope next session you will do great as much as you did today. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something from our session today. See you next time, and it's time for me to sign off and say goodbye.